So it has been a while since I have made a video regarding to Denmark, and I still have a lot of Danish followers regarding to videos that go way back. So I still want to thank you guys for sticking around, of course. And I thought, I don't know a lot about Denmark. Actually, like almost nothing. Someone commented that I should react to an older video of Geography Now regarding Denmark. So that's what we're going to do today. And hopefully we're going to learn a bit more about Denmark and about you guys, my followers, of course. So let's take a look on Geography Now and let's see what Barbie has to say about Denmark.
Remember in the Angola episode I mentioned how I went to Denmark one time and bought a sandwich that was $21? Well, this was that sandwich and my reaction was like, $21? Oh, this better be the best sandwich I've ever had in my life. You got lucky.
What? $21 for a sandwich? I mean, I've been to some expensive countries, but I've never paid $21 for a sandwich.
It's time to learn geography now!
Hey everybody, I'm your host Barbie.
Whoa, you can already see by the quality that's such an old video. Well, old 2016, that's pretty old when it comes to video stuff.
Legos, Vikings, and Roll med fløjl. We got a lot to cover, so let's jump in. Denmark, the link between the rest of Europe and Scandinavia. So much to discuss. Denmark is classified as a Nordic country, hence located in the Northern European region, even though it's kind of like the southernmost state in the Nordics. Full disclaimer, ignore Wikipedia. I'm gonna pronounce the location names in their proper Danish context. So here we go. Denmark is made of the Jutland, not Jutland, peninsula that connects to
Jutland.
Germany in the south, as well as 1,419 islands of the...
Whoa, 1,419 islands. Holy crap. I never would have known that. I mean, you can see that there are some islands and stuff, but 1,419? Bruh.
Those only 443 are named and 74 are inhabited. With the largest island being Sjælland, not Zealand, which is not to be confused with Dutch Zeeland, which is not to be confused with New
Sjælland.
Zealand, although they did get their name.
I can't take it! That's too much information!
It is connected to Fyn Island, not Finn Island, by the Great Belt Bridge completed in 1998. The country is divided into 5 regions, the capital being Copenhagen, located on Sjælland. Copenhagen is home to a myriad of historical sites, palaces, statues, residential units that are all the same height and style.
God, it actually reminds me a lot of Amsterdam. Like, really a lot.
With pockets of colorful, quaint, cozy shops and cafes and dangerous bicycle lanes that you are not supposed to walk on. Now this is where
Even this is really Dutch.
things are gonna get a little spiced up. And by spiced up, I mean freezing cold and covered in whale blubber. Denmark, for those of you who didn't know, is a kingdom, one of the last surviving ones in Europe, and is currently under the headship of chain-smoking Queen Margaret II. These still fall under Danish sovereignty and make up
Chain-smoking Queen Margaret II. Is she really such a big smoker? How does he know this?
the massive Greenland Island and the Little Faroe Islands. Both of these places are radically different from mainland Denmark. For one, Greenland is primarily inhabited by native Inuit tribal peoples that live on the island and is 80% covered in ice year-round. The Faroe Islands are a conglomeration of 20-ish mystical, cloudy, windy islands that have this crazy-looking lake that looks like it's about to spill over the cliffs into the ocean.
Whoa. That's a lake? And the sea's right there? That looks amazing. Imagine just going fishing here. Or just camping. Or just having a drone flying. Whoa. Looks brutal though. It looks like real Viking land.
These two areas have their own self-governing home rule, otherwise only depending on Denmark for military, justice, currency, and foreign affairs. Otherwise, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, historically, they did try to kind of create an empire by colonizing parts of the Caribbean, Ghana, India, and then in the Nicobar Islands in the Indian Ocean, but they kind of ran out of money and ended up selling everything to other countries. Too bad. It would be awesome to see people in the Indian Ocean speaking Danish. Nonetheless,
So they ran out of money. But, the Netherlands is also a small country, and they were lucky with, trading and taking over like half of the world with colonies and stuff. So it's kind of weird to see that those small countries did have so much impact when it comes to world history. But yeah, interesting.
Mainland Denmark is kind of like a fast-moving economic machine. Let's talk about how. Now, when it comes to land makeup, Denmark is pretty flat. I mean, the highest point, Møllehøj, is only about 170 meters tall, and it looks like this.
Møllehøj. The highest point is called Møllehøj. Møllehøj.
Otherwise, only about 13% of the
Sounds
country
funny.
is forested, including the tree plantations, and the rest is pretty much used for agriculture that can produce enough food to feed about 15 million people. It's about 3 times the size of their entire population. Good for you, Denmark. But one thing Denmark is actually famous for growing is non-produce plants like grass, fodder, and Christmas trees. The highly sought-after Danish Nordmann fir has been classified as the Rolls-Royce of Christmas trees, and every year investors from Germany, the Netherlands, and even the UK jump in at the end of November and grab whatever they can before it's gone. Now, one thing you need to know is
You know, it's funny. I have that tree almost every year, so apparently I have more connections, or I see quite some connections with Denmark when it comes to the Netherlands and Denmark. Like the entire system, how it looks, like the country itself so far, the cities, the setup. Apparently they do some trading as well, so quite interesting.
Denmark's weather can be quite dreary.
Same as the Netherlands.
First of all, Denmark is the only Nordic country that doesn't really get a lot of snow. Denmark is kind of like the mud pit located below the jet stream blocked by Norway and the UK. This means that even though it gets really cold, pressure systems rarely cause snow. This is also pretty much why everybody dresses like a J. Crew fall fashion line model on the streets. If you're gonna get wet and freezing, you may as well look good while doing it.
You may as well look good doing it. Gotta say, those women look pretty good. You know what I'm saying?
Otherwise, yeah, I mean, pretty much the rest of Denmark is just rolling green plains with sandy beaches and quirky little islands that people like to hop over for camping trips in the summer.
It looks really, really nice. Those islands and stuff, it looks like really cool. Something like I could imagine myself on just some kind of motorbike, just cruising along, exploring.
If we were going to talk about Greenland and the Faroe Islands, we would get a radically different story of mind-boggling, captivating cliffs, bluffs, sea stacks, glaciers, fissures, icebergs, and mountains. If you don't know what a Mulan is, it's not this, but this.
This Mulan is large enough to swallow a school bus.
Whoa.
But we'll have to save that for another video that'll come out in 9,374 years. In the meantime, let's talk about the people.
9,000.
Now this is gonna get really fun. Denmark's people are really unique in their cultural, historical, and postmodern upbringing. First of all, the country has about 5.7 million people and is one of the highest taxed countries in the world. About 80...
Wow, also sounds like the Netherlands. Except for like the amount of people living there, because we live on probably the same amount of land and we have like 18 million. I guess it's the same size, or maybe Denmark is a bit smaller, I don't know.
9% of the country identifies as ethnically Danish, about 11% are others. Some of the largest groups in the other category being the Polish, Germans, Turkish, Romanians, Iraqis, and Afghans. Now when it comes to Danish culture, there's a lot behind it, but in a nutshell, Vikings. Vikings pretty much had their...
There's a lot behind it, expectations, and then Vikings. Fair enough. You got me there.
Start in what is now present-day Denmark, and whom pretty much dominated all of the Nordic regions as far as Newfoundland and Canada to Estonia. Which is why most of the Nordic states
Even
and
to
regions can
Estonia.
pretty much understand each other when they talk. Danes, Swedes, Norwegians, and Icelanders can generally understand each other as they have the same basic linguistic structure. Sure, there are subtle discrepancies, but overall they can kind of get by conversationally. Granted, there's a saying, the Norwegian and Swedish languages sound like dancing fairies, whereas the Danish language sounds like a dude with a potato in his mouth. By the way, anybody who wants to learn Danish, full disclosure, it's gonna suck.
I tried. You have seen my videos on Bosnian trying to speak Danish. They didn't go that well.
J makes the Y sound, the Y makes the U sound, the V makes a W sound, the R makes a R sound, the H is silent half the time, a ton of the letters are never even used, and don't even get started on A, U, and O. I kind of discovered a little trick though when I went to Denmark. When speaking Danish, all you really have to do is kind of like pronounce the first part of the word that you think makes a sound, and then just kind of like give up on the rest of the word. For example, Copenhagen, Nybroggen, Løvstrand.
Is this true or is it just trolling? Lustre.
Literally just listing names of places in Copenhagen that I've been to. Honestly though, you really won't have much of a problem getting around if you speak English. Over 80% of the entire country, mostly the younger generation, speaks proficient English to the point where
That's
they don't
true.
even need subtitles when watching American TV shows and movies. Also,
Yeah, almost every one of my Danish fans who commented on my previous videos, Danish related videos, were writing perfectly English. Even some of you I've had some conversations with also speaking perfectly English.
Also, keep in mind, Greenland has its own language that is completely unintelligible, as it's an Inuit language closer to the indigenous Inuktitut and Yupik languages found in Canada and Alaska. And Faroese is pretty hard for most Danish people to grasp, as it actually has more words rooted in the ancient Norse language, and it's actually more intelligible to Icelandic. Back to culture though, Denmark has definitely left its mark, whether it's notable figures like author Hans Christian Andersen, philosopher Søren Kierkegaard, or whether...
Pronounce his name?
That's actually how you pronounce his name.
Wow.
It's not Søren Kierkegaard. Or whether it be the invention of the loudspeaker, or Legos, or their love of handball, their impeccable architecture, love of cuisine. Noma in Copenhagen, by the way, being voted the best restaurant in the world with plates that feature live ants and moss. If you really...
The best restaurant in the world. Live ants and moss. I think I'm gonna stick to my local kebab shop if that's the best restaurant.
You're gonna get a feel for Danish culture though, you kind of have to know about janteloven and hygge. The funny thing is, Danes are kind of brought up in a social mindset that is kind of integrated into their subconscious, known as janteloven, which kind of translates to something like, you are not better than the crowd, which
Yeah, someone told me that when people like apply and talk to each other and stuff, they're never gonna say, oh, I did this, or I'm really good at this, or really good. You don't speak highly of yourself. You just say, I can do this, I can do that. It's really weird, actually.
I know sounds kind of depressing, but it's really trying to instill a sense of equality and communal cooperation. Hygge translates to something like spend good times with friends and family, and it's like a cozy thing. Of course, Denmark is known for being ranked one of the happiest overall countries, even though they are also kind of one of the highest ranked consumers of antidepressants as well. But
they're ranked the what? Okay, the happiest people ranked one of the happiest people in the world, but they're the highest consumers of antidepressants as well. I don't know, why would they be so happy then?
Hey, they still pull off everyday life looking oh so good, even if it's during one of those really loud annual emergency drills.
Okay, Christine, explain what's happening right now.
Denmark is testing the sirens for warfare. Yeah, when we're being attacked by the Germans again.
I'm scared.
By the way, that's something that happens in the Netherlands as well. I don't know which, I think it's the first Monday of every month.
I'm really, really scared right now.
Let's run to the security basement.
The Germans are coming! Speaking of Germans... Now, we all know that one person we're all kind of jealous of because they're kind of rich, well-adjusted, and have a ton of friends, and they're like kind of good-looking. Well, that's Norway. Denmark is a little bit rockier. No, but seriously, for such a small nation, Denmark has a huge entourage of friends, and it's almost kind of hard for anyone in the world to dismiss them at a party. As a founding member of the EU and NATO, Denmark has had roots planted in diplomacy for decades. First off, Denmark generally gets along with Germany. Business between the Germans is a hugely integral part of their economy, and Denmark acts like the gateway to Scandinavia for them and the rest of Europe. The US and the UK are incredibly close, as both tangible and cultural imports have been established for centuries. For a while, the Danes even took over parts of the UK, which is why to this day the English language still retains hundreds of Old Norse-derived words like leg, dog, and window. The closest friends, though...
What? I never knew that they actually took part... What? They rent parts of the UK and that's why they have Nordic... Mind is blown. I've got so much new information in this video. What?
Would have to be the Nordic countries, Finland, Sweden, Norway, and Iceland. These four are without a doubt Denmark's closest friends, even though Sweden and them have kind of had more wars and battles historically than any other two states in the world. They've moved on and grown up. Out of the Nordic countries, though, Norway would probably be considered their best friends. Danes are obsessed with Norwegians and often consider Norway the girlfriend they took away from Sweden. In conclusion, Denmark is the rich, rainy rascal that always seems to show up on time for every party, but somehow gets all his work done in an organized, efficient manner. Stay tuned, Djibouti is coming up next.
Well, that was a real eye-opener. A lot of things which I could relate to when it comes to the Netherlands, and even some parts to the Balkans as well, is quite impressive. So yeah, I think I should have done this earlier, since I made so much Danish related videos. This would have been like perfect to know, like before making such a video, just to have some kind of extra knowledge or background knowledge on the country that I'm making videos about. For all my Danish people, is everything true that he said? Is he missing out on something in this video? I'm really curious on if there's something that's really, I don't know, a trending thing in Denmark which you didn't mention because it's an older video. Did something change in the meanwhile, or is it still the same? Just please comment it in the comment section down below if you can help me out with that. That would be awesome. But yeah, in general, just a great video. I liked it. It was just, I don't know, something new. I'm usually really reluctant on reacting to videos which from countries which I don't know nothing about, since it's hard to react to. But since I did some stuff on Denmark, it's a bit easier, and since it has so much related stuff to the Netherlands, that's why I kind of set myself over that bar and just did it. So it's not something I'm gonna continue doing, and it's just a thing for my Danish fans. So I hope you guys liked it. If you did, leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel to see my upcoming videos, and I see you guys in the next video. Ciao.
Perfect.